Today I just wanted to talk about physical therapy school with Zoom. I was in clinicals for a good portion of Zoom classes, but now I'm back. It's been difficult. There aren't any peers who are around me who can motivate me, and we're not all together in a library, we're not all together in a classroom, and a lot of the times it feels like the professors are just talking and they're just lecturing at us. There's less lower amount of checks for, oh, do you understand this material, or should I slow down, or anything like that. You kind of, a lot of people just may be losing focus, or they might be paying attention until they get lost a little bit, and then the class is still moving on. So I just wanted to share some experiences that I've been going through, and just how we can all sort of work through this. This might be around for a little longer than we would like it to be. So let's try to make the best of it, right? A lot of the times, I'm feeling behind or overwhelmed, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling alone. And I think ultimately there is this I'm afraid of failing because, there's so much time and effort put into it, and money, lots of loans. So there's just so much that's put into being in a graduate program that you don't necessarily want to fall behind in any way and then somehow end up failing. So some strategies that I've sort of figured out that can work for me and can possibly work for you are, first of all, just get started. It can seem like there's just like this really big mountain to climb and you're never really going to get to the top, but it's all about just doing a little bit every day, and then one day you'll be able to just take that exam, and you'll be able to score decent enough that you're not gonna have to worry about failing. Of course, trying to pay attention in class, there's putting away the phone, putting away anything else, not having like a bajillion tabs open while the professor is speaking to you. And I've also realized that if I just lose my focus, it's kind of difficult to bring it back, but it's important to just like take a breather, maybe zone out for like 30 seconds at most, and then just try to pull myself back in. You also want to consider if you're a schedule person or are you a subject person. So, I've tried both, where I've made a schedule and I've tried to stick to that schedule. And then I've also done the opposite of where I'm like, okay, you know what? How about on Mondays I focus on this particular subject, and then on Tuesday it's another, and Wednesday, and so on. Personally, I realized that the subject one doesn't work as well for me, and depending on your program, it might work for you. It's just dependent on the amount of assignments that you have for each class. So, if one class requires a lot more work, it seems sort of silly to only give it that one day, when another class that requires, maybe at most like 3 hours of work per week, you're giving it a full day's attention. Really just figuring out, which classes need your most amount of attention, and prioritizing it that way might be a better idea than to, try to be a schedule person, or just like a person who goes by a specific day of the week being, one subject per day. Another great resource, check with your program. Make sure that, they offer tutoring. I am pretty sure that this is a very easily available resource for every program out there, but that's something that is really going to be super duper helpful when you are struggling in your courses. You really want someone who knows what they're talking about to then be able to tutor you. And tutoring works in a really, really great way, at least in my program, where the tutors get paid for their time by the school. And then of course, then I'm not exactly paying the tutor or anything to get that tutoring service. So it's a win-win situation for both parties. Another thing that works well is using Google Hangouts, FaceTime, Zoom, any platform where you can talk with your friends and either like put each other on mute at points when you guys are just working on things like working on classwork, or if you guys are both working on the same subject, or multiple of you guys are working on the same subject, then it's easy to be able to ask a question when it comes up. And that sort of just recreates a scenario that you would have, for example, if you were in school but sitting at a library working together. Since Zoom classes are online all day, it might be really, really helpful to just leave your bedroom and go downstairs, go upstairs, wherever you need to, just to get away for a little bit. And that can be, I'm gonna go outside and do a workout really quick, or, I did this one class in the morning in my room, but you know what? I have the living room available. Why don't I take the other class there? Just changing the scenery up a little bit can, help you focus a little bit more, and working out can, of course, help as well. For a lot of the courses, the professors will ask you to turn on the camera, and other professors might not. When it's on a completely volunteer basis, it might be a good idea to turn on the camera, just because then you are a little bit more responsible to pay attention, right? Because your camera's on, they can see you, they can kind of tell when your eyes are a little zoned out, and you're just glossing over the stuff, versus when you're actually there paying attention. And then another thing would be to stay hydrated, lots of water, and that'll, one, keep you very awake because you have to go pee constantly, but two, it'll also just keep you awake because you're not just dehydrated and tired and you're just sitting there. It can just kind of be this like fresh boost of hydration that you really need to focus. This was it for me. I hope that these tips helped you guys in your Zoom classes, and just let's keep on doing it.